Good day, dear students. Today we are to see a lesson in your textbook, Letter to Your Teacher. Before moving to the lesson, I have certain questions in general, and I want you students to please think over or ponder over those questions. What philosophy should a teacher have? What are the responsibilities of a teacher? How do you think a successful teacher should be? What is the greatest challenge for teachers? What qualities can make a good teacher? How should a teacher motivate the students? What are the different learning styles a student prefers? Do you expect the teacher to encourage your creativity? Do you expect the teacher to help you when you are struggling with the subject at your learning level? What character do you want your teacher to possess? Do you think teacher's personality will have an impression on your path towards success? Before reaching your first BCA degree class, you must have had seen a lot many number of teachers, isn't it? So these about 10 questions I have put, I believe, it will surely make you understand whether a teacher had any influence upon you at your learning level and also at your setting life goals. A simple answer to all these questions may be a teacher needs to be adaptable. Teachers need to have flexibility, compassion, self-discipline, drive, and patience to reach their students. With this thought, we shall move further. Dear students, this story, which is prescribed for a study, has been written by the School of Verbena. The book, A Letter to a Teacher, from which the present extract is taken, is one of the most powerful criticism of the injustices of the conventional educational system. In 1967, 8 students from the School of Verbena published a book that soon became a bestseller in several languages. You see, dear students, Verbena is not the name of a school nor the name of a town. It's a community of about 20 farmhouses in the hills of Mugello region in Tuscany, Italy. This remarkable book was written for the parents of Italian poor, but it is about the poor everywhere. Their anger is the anger of every worker and peasant who sees middle-class children absorbed effortlessly into schools as teachers' favorites. Remember, this book is not written for teachers, but for parents. It is a call for them to organize. It is said more than how to guide, Letter to a Teacher is an invitation into the hearts and minds of an extraordinary educator and his students, and an irresistible call to reflection for the teacher who knows he or she must be compassionate, optimistic, respectful, firm, and above all, dynamic. The book from which the present extract is taken is one of the most powerful criticisms of the injustices of the conventional education system. In the year 1967, 8 students of Verbena School published a book that soon became a bestseller in several languages. Entitled Letter to a Teacher, this document was one of the most powerful criticism of the injustices of the school system written by poor students. The book was the outcome of a year-long collaborative project coordinated by a teacher, John Lorenzo Melani, at the end of his life. The schoolboys of Verbena clearly examined the class bias of public schools using clear language, challenging ideas, which were supported by data and examples. In their letter, the children exposed the variety of overt and covert mechanisms used by schools to discriminate against poor students. You can see Don Lorenzo Melani, who died in the summer of 1967. Okay, on the screen you can see him. Okay, your lesson starts from here, dear students. You can read your lesson on the screen. If you purchase your books, it is well and good, but we can proceed with this. Dear Miss, you won't remember me or my name. You have failed so many of us. On the other hand, I have often had thoughts about you and the other teachers and about that institution which you call school and about the boys that you fail. You fail us right out into the fields and factories and then you forget us. Dear students, what do these lines mean? Dear Miss, that love and respect has been shown over there in the very address of a teacher by the children. This opening should tell us that it makes an uncomparable read for teachers in places. It is still a remarkable book, almost half a century after it was written by those 8 boys. And it is a book that makes us go back occasionally. Dear student, important to note is the I of this passage is really a composite of 8 authors, all in their teens. The you they address throughout the book stands for the kind of teacher they had all known in the school system. So, letter to a teacher is a complaint in the form of a letter addressed to an imaginary teacher. Okay, make a note of this. As this was originally written by students of the school of Verbena, students complain that the teacher does not remember the students or their names. You won't remember me or my name. You have failed so many of us. Okay, what does the student say? Students or their names. She fails to take their needs into consideration. She successfully failed them into fields and factories. Once a student fails, what to do? They cannot go further, isn't it? Then what has to be done for the livelihood? So they have to go to work in the factories or in the fields. There's no other way for them. There's no other option for them. The teacher tries to identify their mistakes, okay, but never tries to correct them. That's what we learn in the lines which are yet to come, okay. She always tries to control them as if they were thieves. She lacks practical experience, they say. She does not have the knowledge of human life or the value of relationships, they say. Her teaching is totally pedantic and bookish without touching the social realities, they say. Her students prove better than her in many aspects, they say. Through the letter, the teacher's character is marked by lack of practical outlook and concern for the student. The extract here, as I told you, starts with a student's eloquent tone towards his teacher, where he says, Dear Miss, you don't remember me or my friends, and my name, my friend's name. You have failed so many of us. He, on the other hand, has often thought of her and the other teachers and about the institution which is called school, where boys were failed right into fields and factories. While giving the test You used to walk up and down between the rows of desks and see me in trouble and making mistakes, but you never said a word. I have the same situation at home. No one to run to for help for miles around. No books, no telephone. He remembers how during a test the teachers would walk up and down between the rows of benches, watch him making mistakes, but never said a word, never said a word. Okay? At home, the same situation prevailed. No educated people at home. He could not turn to anyone for help. Yeah, if there are brothers or sisters who are educated, children can take their help. Mother, father, if at all they are educated, they can get their help. If neighbors are educated, they can get their help. If there is a telephone at home, they can call their friends and they can speak and clarify their doubts. And such opportunities were not at all there for these unfortunate children. Okay, so that he speaks his bitterness over here. Now, here I am in school. I came from far away to be taught. Here I don't have to deal with my mother, who promised to be quiet and then interrupted me 100 times. My sister's little boy is not here to ask me for help with his homework. Here I have silence and good light and a desk all to myself. Now here I am in school. It has been put in inverted commas. School means what? If I ask this question to you, you might laugh at me, isn't it? What this teacher is asking the meaning of school. We are in first year degree, isn't it? School life you have crossed. And should we give the meaning of school? Isn't it? It's always better to know what a school is. A building where young people receive education, the process of being formally educated, or an educational institution. Did we expect what? We need to get education, isn't it? At school, he was far away from the disturbance. Okay, whatever disturbance is there, he enumerates that. Okay, he is away from that when he comes to school. He feels it to be a very, comfortable place for him to study. With lots of hope and dreams had come to that school. But teachers were not compassionate. At school, he was not interrupted by his mother 100 times. Maybe when he was sitting for writing or reading, mother might have been assigning him some work and it won't be there. She promises several times that she won't be disturbing him, but still she has to do because she's not an educated woman. It's not her fault. His sister's little boy did not ask help for him at his homework. His sister had a small child, and the child wanted this boy to help him in his homework. And the disturbance for a student who studies. And at school, there was silence, and compared to home atmosphere, in the school, he find a serene silence, good light. At home, it's not there. Small huts they might have been living, we don't know. Good light is here in the school and a desk all for himself. He was happy because a desk all for himself. Somebody else's that this kind of things won't be there, littered over there. So he was so happy to be in the school. But we understand the condition of the school. The teachers over there, they did not touch his heart when he was in the school. So I shall conclude here, dear students. Thank you so much. Your assignment for today is write a note on the author of this letter to a teacher. Thank you so much.